episode 2 of Girls.Talk.Music.
Talk music.
Yahoo! I'm Genny Jam.
Skittle. And I'm Amij.
And today's episode, our main topic is going to be about the scariest or weirdest place or experience that you've ever had, and it doesn't have to pertain to a gig.
I just want to say that I was mortified. Can I just say that?
Okay, you could say you're mortified.
Horrified.
Let's just say I wasn't sure if I was going to come out alive. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Kind of scary. Yeah.
And I guess mine was, what the heck? So, all right. So we'll be back.
Every episode we feature a new dish or wine or drink, and today we're going to feature Amij's new ice cream. It's bacon ice cream. So last week we had wine, that was funny. But today we have gigs, so we're not going to drink wine, we're going to do ice cream.
Today we're going to be sharing one of my favorites is bacon folded into ice cream. So you get that salty, sweet, kind of buttery, kind of bacony ice cream taste, but it has to be French vanilla. It has to be that kind, the real vanilla bean type of ice cream, but it's really, really, really good, so I hope you guys like it.
Yeah.
We're cooking the bacon now. You don't want to overcook it. You want it soft, but still crispy a little bit, so you can sort of dice it up and get all that goodness in the ice cream. Mm-hmm. So, and don't drain it, because you want that goodness in the ice cream.
All right. So what Amij did was when the bacon got done, she chopped it up in the little bits. And now she's putting ice cream.
Yeah, and then typically I would do a bigger bowl and really be able to fold in the bacon in a better way. But we're gonna sort of like to sprinkle it on there and just try it together.
I've never had anything like this before in my life.
It's a little hot.
Why are you doing this? Where did you learn this?
Oh, because I have weird taste buds. That's one. I'm like, what do I feel like having? Salty and sweet.
Salty and sweet.
Yeah.
I like that. Amij says to mix it up.
Oh yeah.
You can see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mix it up. Get all that goodness all mixed up together.
All the goodness.
This is called bacon ice cream. It's turkey bacon, which is very healthy, and French vanilla ice cream. So this is our snack for the day.
Yeah.
And we'll be back. We just put in a new segment. We're going to do a top 6. Each brought in a top 6 of the hottest drum beats in a song. So it could be an intro or it could be during the song. Mm-hmm. So Amij, let's go with you.
Okay, I think it went a little bit unnoticed, the Amory tune with the sample, the loop.
Oh yeah.
Because the loop was really hot, and
we'll go ahead and start playing.
Not only did it sort of commercialize go-go a little bit, I think, sort of brought it into the mainstream a little bit. Well, a lot actually. But this happens to be, even though it's an older tune, it's one of my favorite drum loops, samples. So,
Yeah, definitely.
Especially the roll that's sampled in there, and it keeps going through.
Yeah, so Amory, is it Amory or Amory?
Well,
One Thing.
Right, I don't know.
We know that was like what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, it had to be.
It was really hot 3 years ago.
It's not brand new.
What is she doing these
Remarkable
days?
things are not always the newest things.
Yeah,
to me,
that's true.
It's like they could be from nostalgic stuff or whatever. Whatever's remarkable, it doesn't have to be. Oh, it's
Definitely.
the latest thing. It's this. To me,
Yeah,
that was like really hot.
That was really hot then. All right, and then we'll go to your second one.
This is really nostalgic. This is like, okay, for all the drummers,
Definitely.
I think it's Narada Michael Walden on Lead Boots, the intro of Lead Boots with Jeff Beck. Behind the beat, ahead of the beat, that intro, like most drummers that have been playing a while know about that song. It's like, wow, that was a tight intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all fusion, man. That's what's so great about him.
He has some great players.
Yeah.
Great guitar player, too.
So that, you presented like an R&B kind of, the drum loop, and then you got this fusion, where it's total live, and Jeff
Fusion's
Beck.
one of my favorites anyway.
Yeah.
Chick Corea, Dave Weckel's one of my favorite drummers, Steve Gadd, Billy Cobham, grew up with him. Neil Peart was one of my mentors. I mean, basically, like, as a drummer, that was the first one that I studied. Neil Peart was the very first. I mean, note for note, everything he did when I was like a teeny kid, playing that stuff, so
So do you know who's drumming on this?
Narada Michael Walden, I think that's who it is. He was killing it though.
That's
He was
sweet.
killing it.
I like Jeff Beck.
So especially the intro is my favorite when it comes. It's just the drums and then it goes into a little bit of the intro with the guitar. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, this thing is wicked.
Yeah.
It is.
So Jeff Beck, Lead Boots. Might want to check that out. And, we got 2 down. Let's go to number 3. And my picks were, my first one was Rage Against the Machine. And I'm picking the live version that they had out. It was actually their last, I think, record, and I could be wrong, that they put out before they broke up. Rage Against the Machine live at the Grand Olympic Auditorium in LA, which is actually one of the best out there that they've done. Extraordinary musicians. Tom Morello is one of my influences. I love him to death. But the musicians are incredible, and it's just 3 of them, with the front guy. So
that's how it is though.
Yeah.
Rush, all the best groups have had just 3 pieces. They've covered all that music, just 3 pieces. Let's hear. Can we turn that up a little bit?
Yeah. So
is that possible? Because I want to really hear this thing here.
Yeah. So it's Bulls on Parade, and it's their intro. And what's so great is you got Tom Morello he's doing F sharp chord, and he's playing it with the wah-wah, and the drummer comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is heavy. The drummer kills.
And then it's killing. You know what I like about that? You know what I like about that the most?
What?
The guitar and the drums are like married.
Yep.
in that
Exactly.
section. They're right together.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's powerful when you mix those two.
That's you see if you listen to Rage Against the Machine, a lot of their music is like that. The guitar, the drums, even the bass. They have this chemistry that's just crazy. I mean, they went and did Audio Slave. The 3 of them went and did Audio Slave with who's Chris Cornell, the singer.
I
think.
like them.
So,
like them a
but
lot.
then they're not together anymore. But I mean, those 3 musicians they're just hot. They just gel together. And so Rage Against the Machine, Bulls on Parade, and I'm pulling up the live
That's hot.
CD, DVD. Pick it up if you haven't. This is actually a great. Everything on this concert CD or DVD is really good. So
That's really hot. I like that.
that's one. And then my other one, I kind of went back. I kind of took it back to Jimi Hendrix. And I just thought there was one song that just had the best drum beat. And I always love to either bring it up or talk about it or whatever, because this is I don't even know the date, but this had to have been, here it is. 1967 is when this released.
Wow.
And what I love about this this song, with the drums, is that you're talking about 1967, and you kind of figure who was out by then, but the drums are killing. Like no one, it was so innovative. Yeah, it was so innovative. You know what I mean? So I don't even know who the drummer is on this. Look, I didn't do my
I don't
research.
either, actually.
But
it's a certain style.
But you listen to this, it's like, okay, it's rock music. I haven't done all my research, but to me, this is like innovative playing. Like nobody, it was just like Eddie Van Halen when he came out with the double tapping. That was new. It was brand new. To me, I just hear this and I'm like, back in 1967, I'm like, who was playing like this?
Yeah, seriously. That
besides
was
maybe
innovative.
James Brown,
And
it
that's
seemed
what we're missing
innovative.
these days.
Yeah.
Innovation.
Yeah.
We need innovative, more people who think with innovative minds and are not afraid to do something different and not be pigeonholed into, okay, the radio only plays this format. This is the only genre they're going to play. What? It's not that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I can't play. I don't know what to do with that.
Right.
They didn't care.
Yeah, they didn't
They said, I'm
care.
going to give it to you like I want to.
Yeah.
And that's just how it's going to be.
Yeah.
And the people were like, yeah, I love it. And see, that's what we need is more of an audience that's more receptive to openness
Yeah.
and innovation instead of saying, it's got to sound just like this. It's like everybody does the same song, but it's different artists.
Yep.
That's how it can be, especially in the common genres of music. So that's what we need to
Yeah.
bring back again.
We need to bring that back again. You're
We need
right.
to bring
So, Rage Against the Machine, Jimi Hendrix, and now let's get to Skittle.
Skittle, what you got for us today?
Oh, I got to
you gonna
start
taste
off
the
with
rainbow?
Taste the rainbow.
Well, first we got Robert Glasper. This album came out, I think I'm going to say 2012. Yeah, 2012. This particular song, Lift Off, it's not a crazy drum beat, but it's just a different time signature. What I think that's pretty different. I like how it's not predictable, first of all. Actually, if you check out his whole album, it's really different. All the time signatures are different, but this one in particular stands out to me. So
That's very standout. This smooth right there.
yeah, it's like real mellow.
It's almost as if the keyboards are doing a different time.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
And I haven't sat with it to figure out which times are being used because the keys are clearly doing maybe a 3/4. The drums are doing 4/4.
Yes,
I think. I'm trying to listen to everything at once. Yeah, there's 2 or 3 going on at the same time. That is innovative.
Yeah.
I kind of like it because it reminds me of Snarky Puppy. It's 2 different styles, but
Yeah.
it's the same idea, like different time signatures, but really tight. So that's
That is
one.
tight. That's nice.
Yeah, that
Good
is
choice.
tight.
That's a good choice.
I like that. So,
I think I might be a fan of that too.
yeah, we got to check
Definitely
this
check it
this out.
Yeah.
Robert Glasper.
Robert Glasper.
Lift Off, and it's featuring. Oh, check out this name. Shafiq
Hussein?
Mike.
Hussein?
Well, the song's
I
called
don't know how
Lift
to say
Off.
it.
Lift Off.
Seriously.
Robert Glasper.
Check out the whole album.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Black Radio.
Good choice.
And then we got a well-known
Jill
Philly.
Scott. Yeah, Live in Paris. This particular album, Live in Paris, to me is phenomenal. First of all, Jill Scott, she has
Right,
one of
right.
the best
She
fans.
she does.
And
She
her
does
live
that.
arrangements kid.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Killing,
gosh.
man.
Yeah.
Killing.
So this is another selection where, it's not a crazy beat, but it's just different.
Yeah.
It's not typical. You don't hear it in every
yeah,
song.
this part right here.
Yeah, exactly. With the crash, and then it's just It's
Yeah,
constant,
because it
but
seems
it's-
like it has a clap or something effect,
Right.
like maybe a
Yeah.
trigger,
Right.
or maybe the
Almost
percussionist is playing
theatrical.
But
it.
it's something that
Yeah.
everybody
It seems
doesn't
so
do.
theatrical.
Yeah, people don't do that. Yeah,
It's like an old sound.
Yeah.
But it's and then you got horns, of course. That just sets it
Yeah.
off. But
She's stepping
yeah.
outside the box.
She
Yeah.
always
Again,
does.
we need to step outside the box.
Yep.
Because that makes the best artists.
that sure does.
Exactly.
It
And that
does.
rolls
I love
into,
her.
who's different.
So that's Jill Scott, The Way.
That's the way.
And
But check it out.
yeah, we're listening to the Live from Paris. So
That's
this is
nice.
Yeah.
this is what we're doing. There's a huge intro before this when the drums come in, but it's still hot.
It's like 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
But listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, listen to the whole
That's
thing
like the
because it's
length of
hot.
a song these days.
I know.
3 minutes and 34 seconds.
So-
That's what you get.
So we got the music up there. We have the names. So check it out. And let us know what your top 6 of
Yeah.
the best drum beat out there in a song,
Yeah.
drum intro, anything. All right, cool.
All right.
So we'll be back. So we're going to be talking about our main topic. Our main topic is the scariest or weirdest
Oh gosh, it makes me laugh.
place
It's so hideous.
or thing you've ever been or that ever happened to you, right? Why don't you start?
Okay, there's a lot of things that are scary in life that I think we've experienced, but one that comes to mind, that's the most recent and that's the most specific to me. It was horrifying, I would say, more like mortifying. Okay, so I'm getting my makeup done, makeup artist, talking, chatting, she's really cool. Hey, you gotta come out with us to this club. And I'm like, okay, well, where is it? She told me where it was, it's in DC. I'm like, cool, what night? She's like, oh, it's like on Thursday or whatever it was. She's like, and basing on the, she has sort of a hardcore image, so it's like, I sort of wanted to ask what kind of club it was, because
Yeah.
you just don't want to step out anywhere
Right.
not knowing where you're going. So, oh, it's just this goth club that's really sort of, I'm like, all right, well, I gotta ask you though, is there any like weird stuff going on? Because I've got my religion and stuff, and I'm just I don't tamper with anything else. I'm just sort of like straight up Christian. That's it, So she's like, oh, it's cool. A lot of people like you there. Everything's cool. So I meet them. We meet up before we go to the club. Sort of weird. Okay, it wasn't too much friendly conversation going on. I'm like, all right, still, I'm just going, whatever. So we get there. I find myself completely and entirely alone. So anyway, all right, so yeah, it's like Halloween. I'm totally digging that. I'm like, oh, cool, Halloween up in here. Yeah, everybody's looking all gothic and stuff. It's really cool, and just sort of interesting. But I ended up alone. That's the first thing that went wrong, actually. The second thing was nobody was friendly. Okay, so I'm like, why? I'm feeling like sort of weirded out here because now it's time to pray. Where's my cross? Okay, I'm feeling like, are you casting a spell on me? They're looking at my eyes, just like weird. They're not talking to me. They're like, and if they did talk, it was sort of weird. It wasn't like a good like vibe I was getting. It was sort of like, danger, red alert, get out of here, right? So I'm thinking, how fast can I get out of here? I've been here 10 minutes. All this happened in 10 minutes.
How and why and where?
10 more minutes go by, right? I'm like, oh, really uncomfortable, but I'm pretending. See, that's the trick. You can never act scared if you're scared. You got to be, confident. Right. So I'm praying and acting confident at the same time inside. I'm dying inside, right? So I'm like, okay, it's been like 40 minutes or so. I'm going to go to the bathroom and make my getaway. As long as nobody follows me, right? Why did somebody follow me in the bathroom? I'm thinking, oh no, I'm going to be abducted for some kind of sacrifice. I'm like, I got to get out of here. So I was really fast in there, got out, and I just got to the door by the time they got in, and I escaped. So I was like, all right, good night. I escaped the bathroom. I was like, that's good. I'm getting out of here, man. I'm texting. I'm like, I'm getting out of this freak place, man. I'm getting out of here. So finally, I was terrified, let me tell you, because I was by myself, really. I was. And I expected to be embraced a little more at this place, more friendliness or whatever, sort of welcoming, I'm a new person there. It was really uncomfortable. I'll never go there again. And I would suggest that if anybody hears about a place like that, check it out first.
Check it out.
Plenty of friends. Don't go by yourself. I got out of there, luckily, and made the getaway, and I didn't have anybody follow me outside, which was good. So I got to my car, and I was like, yes, I'm safe. I'm on my way home. Thank you. So that was like, if you could see through my eyes what I saw, you'd be afraid. You'd be very scared because it was a creepy, scary feeling like I'm gonna cast a spell on you kind of thing. Like scary. So I was really glad to be out of there. So that's my most recent, like as in last year's scary story.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Was the place was it like a rave or something? Like a rave?
It was almost like that. But it wasn't as fun. It was serious and boring and dry. Oh, and not to mention, you know how you're just walking through a place, people literally bumping into you.
Wow.
Like, bam, like with their shoulder. And I'm like, this is not good. This is not a good sign. I've been in a million places throughout in the world, everywhere, places by myself. Never experienced that in my life, ever.
Oh gosh, that's
Crazy.
wild.
Crazy.
That just made me think of something for my story. I'm totally changing my story now.
Really?
But I went to a concert with my friend, with Keith, and a friend of ours, and it was the Orb. I don't know if you ever heard of the Orb.
I haven't.
But they're a bunch of DJs that sit there. It was at the 930 Club. They're on stage, and it's just a bunch of guys on computers. They're probably playing Xbox or whatever. But
I think I've seen them on YouTube.
Yeah,
or something.
And they have the big light show, and they have the video behind them. So we're sitting there with my friend and a couple people. I can't even remember if we knew these people, but it was another couple. And so the Orb's getting into it, and they're like flashing up one of their songs. I don't really know what it was, but they were flashing up barcode, like bunch of images, blah, 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 and you see a barcode, blah, 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 and you see...
Like you're being in a trance.
Yeah, and you see, who's the Addams Family? Morticia.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Blah, 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 some other stuff, blah, 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 barcode, blah, 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 and you see Morticia, right? So this is going on for probably like 5 or 10 minutes.
Wow.
All of a sudden, we turn around and the girl faints. She just
What, girl on stage or next to you?
No, the one that was next to us, this couple that I can't even remember if we knew him, but she faints, and we're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? What do we do? We're like, the barcodes, it's Morticia, Morticia did it, the barcodes. We didn't know what to do. We were freaking out.
Oh my
So that was just crazy.
What did you do? Did you
We kind
go down there and say,
yeah,
hey, okay?
we kind of yeah, come on, wake up.
Did you do it?
Yeah, and then they kind of like left. They kind of like went off. But yeah, it was just so funny. So it was she was
put out in
okay.
a trance? Did she
I
have
guess
a
so.
seizure from the
I don't know, maybe.
because that can happen.
Or maybe she got so scared that she passed out.
Yeah, I don't know, but
Passed out.
yeah, it was like Well, it wasn't like it was sort of the big joke of the night, but it wasn't. I mean, the girl was okay, but
Was she okay after?
she was okay. But we'd be like, the barcodes.
That's the trickiest thing about
Be careful of the barcodes at Morticia.
It's a subliminal message. The
Yeah.
barcodes.
Anyway, so that's my
That's
story.
pretty
Wow.
freaky, actually.
That is
Yeah.
freaky. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, before I tell my story, you should tell the other story.
Yeah, just quickly go over your
I
other
mean-
story, please.
Oh,
Like,
okay,
like,
okay, really
right there.
quick.
I want to hear the other.
That
Okay.
was crazy.
Yeah, well,
Just get a bonus today. You get a bonus.
okay, I get
Yeah,
a
I
bonus.
mean, you know.
Okay, so my other story that I was going to use was at a gig, and we played this venue, and it was last year. It was Halloween. Everybody was dressed up,
Oh, man.
and
that sounds fun.
we were playing 2 sets. I know
Sorry,
it does.
it's all fun to me. That sounds fun.
Yeah. So it was a 2-set gig, and we just finished our first set, and there were a lot of people there. I mean, it was packed. Everybody was having a good time, and so we're sitting at our table. All of a sudden, I just saw like a wave of people move back towards us.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? We didn't know. We immediately knew there was a fight. Well, apparently somebody got stabbed, right? We were in the audience, pretty much in a table. So it was just like this crowd came towards us, and they were just like blocking them, And then immediately we went to the side.
Put the thing around you so that they
It was like a barricade.
So we
these
can all
guys.
understand. So to protect you.
Yeah, to
from
protect
the
them.
person who had the knife
from
or whatever.
anybody that was just the whole crowd moving back
That's
towards
really,
us.
really, really a bad
So-
story. Yeah.
so we,
That's a life. That's
yeah,
a serious kind
it's
of
scary.
like
It
life
gets really
changing kind of
scary.
event. To
Yeah.
me.
That's really scary.
That's like wow, you can't be anywhere and feel safe, even at
Yeah.
your gig,
Right.
Even
no
at your
matter
gig.
what you're doing.
And they can't. They stopped everything because pretty much it was like they took it outside. Of course, the cops were called, but you never know in those situations. Somebody gets mad, they leave, go home, come back, and they
Right,
shoot up the place. So they
That happens
canceled that.
somewhere, actually.
Yeah, they canceled it, but it kind of sucks that stuff like that happens. And then at this time it wasn't really the band that was playing; it was the DJ. I mean, people just get so excited and they get happy and
lose
get
sight of-
drunk and
Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah,
like
that's a
violence. I mean, it
scary,
happens
violent
everywhere,
story.
but we
Yeah,
just
it
hope that
is.
it doesn't always happen.
Well, yeah,
so.
and I think the thing is like no matter where no alcohol or anything should make you act that way.
Yeah.
Right.
And violence is not a resort. You can't resort to that. That's
Yeah.
it's foolishness, man. Stop all
It
this
is.
stuff out there.
Yeah.
So we people can have a good time if people stop acting like idiots.
Right, right.
And just sort of like get some love inside their heart. Man.
Yeah.
What is
They
this?
just have a good time.
What is this?
I know.
I did have a scary gig story, but this other story is kind of more scary.
Okay.
So this was the
So-
life. Okay, this is the life-threatening kind of. You felt
Yeah.
in danger.
Yeah.
Endangered. And the most ironic part was I was around animals.
Really?
As much as I love animals, I was scared.
Wow.
Seriously?
So you guys know I like to work out. So I got a new bike, and I was like, okay, let me try out this new trail. So it was brand new to me. So I had never been on the trail, never knew anyone that took the trail before. So I set out to go, like I timed it. I was like, okay, I'll go out like 10 o'clock in the morning. I'll ride for like 3 hours and then turn around and get back before it gets dark. So I went out like 10 o'clock. I started on the trail, just kind of, enjoying the scenery. I'd never, like I said, never been out there before, but just kind of paying attention to where I was going.
Yeah.
Long story short, I got lost coming back.
Oh, gosh.
No.
And
Oh no.
it got dark.
Oh,
And
geez.
I
That's
was
like a
on
fairy tale.
Yeah.
Is that the boy that went fishing? I'm sorry.
Right, yeah,
He fell
pretty
asleep
much.
when he
Would
was
be
fishing?
me, yeah.
Oh wow.
So,
Okay.
so I started coming back, but I got lost, and then I didn't know, like, I was already unfamiliar with the
Wow.
trail. It was dark, and then all the
That
deer started
sucks.
coming out.
This sucks really bad.
So all these deer started, I see deer from the car's view, but not from, like, up close and personal.
Yeah.
So I was
Right.
like, oh my gosh. So I'm lost. I'm like, okay, I don't know how to, and there was nobody else out anymore. So I really felt dumb. Like,
Yeah.
Tiffany, what are you doing on the trail
Oh,
by
no.
yourself? And, so I finally saw this lady walking, and I guess she was like always on the trail every day. So I was asking her, like, how do I get back to Cherry Hill Road to get to my car or whatever? So she tells me, oh yeah, you just go down and around or whatever. And then she starts talking, like, yeah, so it's a beautiful day out, and she's just going on and on. And I'm like, Okay, so I'm gonna get really extra lost because I just forgot everything you just told me.
No.
So of course I was like, okay, well, be careful, and I went on and got lost again.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was so scared because at one point all these deer lined up against like the trail, like the part that I was riding on, and they were just facing me, and I'm just riding like,
Oh, wow.
it was so scary. I mean,
Well, they probably thought you were some alien deer.
They probably
with
did.
the bicycle, and there's no light on it.
Right, no light. Oh yeah, and my friend had just told me to get a light, and I was like, oh, I never ride at night. I don't need a light.
Wow.
So
That's not good
yeah,
because they,
no.
you know, even though I love deer, but they will kick you.
Yeah. Oh,
That's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, I love deer. I
they'll
wouldn't
kick you,
hurt
just
them,
keep
but they
on
could be
kicking you.
scared.
Yeah,
Scared of me, not knowing that I wouldn't hurt them. But they're like,
Yeah.
who's this?
Well, my gosh,
You know.
like, did you ever make it home?
I
You
thought-
must have.
I
because
know.
you're right
Did you
there,
hear?
right?
I did, but I ended up in Anacostia first of all.
Now, did you have like?
It was
Wow.
so scary to like know,
Man,
and
that
yeah, I
really
was
sucks.
like, I finally
Do you
made
use a
it
GPS
out.
now when you ride?
Yeah, I
That's
do.
good. That's good.
No, I had it that day, but it wouldn't pick up because I was so far into the trail that it like
Wow.
it was like
That's scary.
not
That's
reading
very,
it.
Did you get like a panic attack or anything?
I think I did.
that should be something that maybe the counties or whoever handles like the parks that handle trails like that, like kind of set up something where if you do get lost, like I don't know if they have emergency
signage or
Yeah,
arrows
something.
that like on the ground.
a station.
Yeah.
Something that's arrows or signage that tells you where to go.
I mean,
And
You
mind
know.
you, there's no lights in there, so it was
Oh,
complete
yeah. They should have
darkness.
emergency
There's no
low
like
lights in there,
lights.
too.
Yeah.
it reminds me of that movie Blair Witch,
Yeah,
where they went on in the woods and then they couldn't get out.
exactly.
You know
That's
what?
exactly.
Scariest moments, weirdest experience. Have you had it?
Tell us about it.
Yeah.
Share your stories with us.
Share your stories with us.
The more eerie, the better. Actually.
Yeah, the more
You know.
the weirder.
Yeah.
Right.
Ghost stories, everything. Just share it all. Just let us know.
Weird clubs you visited.
Yeah.
Weird people
Concerts,
you've been around.
yeah, concerts,
A lot of weird people.
barcodes,
yeah.
visuals, and parks that you can't get out of.
I think that's the first time I've ever met anybody that I'm sorry. It's,
Made it out.
All right.
wow.
And we're going to have a new segment that we didn't have in episode 1, and that is to talk about new music or gadgets. Amij has something and Skittle has something, so we'll go with Amij first.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about some new music. Maybe it's old music, but
Yeah,
something
I think
that we've never
pretty,
heard
it's
of.
pretty recent, but I'm not sure exactly how to say her name. I think it's Hildegun, and her last name I'm lost.
Yeah.
But it's called The Warrior Song. And why I found her is because someone told me on Facebook, they were like, her music reminds me of yours, and I love her. You got to hear her. I'm like, okay. So I listened, and I'm like, man, the lyrics are awesome. Her voice is awesome. She's really earthy, sort of natural and sincere. And her music is just, to me, it's structured in a way where
Yeah.
it's the epitome of a perfect song, the way that the dynamics are, and when she comes from the chorus and approaching the end of the song where it's quarter notes, just, like that, the chord changes are just powerful. It's awesome. So if you give her a listen, I'm sure you're going to like her. She does Snarky Puppy, too. She plays
that's
with them a
right.
lot. So they tour a lot
That's
together.
right.
And man, I really wanted to make her show in Baltimore because that's someone that I want to see live.
Now, where is she from?
I think she lives in New York City, but she's from somewhere else, I think. Not quite sure. Netherlands?
She's
I don't
the
know.
Netherlands. I know she
Could be
looks
Norway.
European.
It could be Norway. I'm not sure. When I love a band or a singer, it's because they're unique, they're different, they're innovative, and they've got a sound nobody else has.
Yeah.
So, like, I have very few artists that I say I love them,
Yeah.
and very few, people that I listen to in my spare time that I'm like, man, I gotta hear this.
Yeah.
And when I listen to it, I live it. It's like I live it all the time. And that's how much I like her. I like her a lot.
Yeah, so check her out. Hildegun, again,
Hildegun, however you say her last name.
Yeah.
But she's awesome.
Warrior Song.
The Warrior Song, yeah.
Hildegun G.
She's she's got a good look and
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so check her out, man. So now something from Skittle.
Oh yeah, the iRig. I wanted to tell everyone about.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Some people know, but I don't think a lot of musicians know about the iRig. It's a little device. It's like that big, and you hook it up to your iPhone or your iPad. It's an iDevice, so it's compatible with all Apple products. And basically, you can play your instrument, your guitar or your bass through just your headphones and this little, device in an app on your phone. So it's convenient, like especially if you're traveling and there's something last minute and you don't have time to find an amplifier. Or, you can just plug up real fast, or even for, space reasons, it's more convenient. You can stick it in your pocketbook or your pocket.
Oh, yeah.
And what's it called again?
iRig.
The iRig.
You just hook up your headphones to it and then your cord, and you can literally load any song you want into that app and play along to it and learn it real fast. I've used it so many times.
Oh, that's good.
At the last minute,
That's a good suggestion for people. To really, that's a nice setup.
Like
that's really
$40
cool.
at the most in any store.
So it's cheap.
It's cheap. It definitely pick up one of those from your local.
Yeah. So the iRig again.
Okay.
Look it up. It's cheap.
You just put your headphones.
It's convenient. Yep. Yep. For that last minute stuff.
Good. So what are we gonna do right now, ladies? Look, we have to sing.
Oh yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Girls. Talk.
Music.
My time signature is off.
We'll be back. We usually end on a positive.
Positive note.
And we've been in the business for a while, so we always want to share our life-changing moments, those experiences, good things that have done in our career, in our life. As we did before, we're going to time it. We got 5 minutes each to talk about our life-changing moments.
Okay.
All right, and we did well last time.
Yeah, we did.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go.
As I think about the best moment, I think it would probably be my CD release at Blues Alley in DC. For many different reasons. Number one, I got to share the music that was inside me that I actually recorded, and that's sort of like a risky thing.
Yeah.
You feel like you're on the edge of a cliff and you're ready to jump off because you're sharing such a huge piece of yourself.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, there's nothing to hide now because you're getting to know me. Everything from that album was from my spirit. I wrote it with my spirit without any kind of box to stay in or genre to stay in. So I just sort of did my thing. So it was a beautiful night, not only because of the musical execution, like the band just rocked the stuff, man. The crowd received it well. Everybody that was close to me was there. You were there too.
I was there.
Very special.
Yep.
So
it was very great.
It was like
very
almost
great.
moments where I don't know. It was like I was outside of myself in some ways, and I think that there was a moment in the end of the show where I was doing "I'm Free," and one of the singers that I had was actually in worship instead of singing backgrounds, which was awesome.
I remember that. Yeah.
Because "I'm Free" is a really deep song. It's about the spiritual battle of good and evil and the things that we have to face every day. So she was doing that, and then there was people. It's like I could feel thoughts just turning in the audience, people's minds just turning. And there was other people that came up to me and said, I was actually like praying.
Yeah.
In Blues Alley.
And that's great.
You wouldn't expect that in a bar where we're, having some drinks and eating whatever.
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect that. So that's number one. I was glad that happened. And that I was able to share my musical experience with everybody. The one thing I want to say about that is, I think anytime you step foot on a stage, especially a big stage, that is like, there's no feeling like that.
Yeah.
To be able to be to express yourself that way, and you're just booming through the place. There's a huge crowd. All your fans are out there. I think I'm out of time, ain't I?
No, sorry.
It keeps going off, but
people
it's like
texting me.
There could be one person at any show, any given moment, that changes your life.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Especially, and I mean that's such a great accomplishment too. On top of that you do.
And that's part of it too.
Yeah.
The accomplishment for me musically in my career to have gotten to that point and worked so hard to be able to be like, okay, I actually got to write the music and record it with some wonderful talent that worked with me, co-writing and stuff. But it was a really big accomplishment for me, which I was really happy about, and I still am. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, my father, he passed away a long time ago. So it was kind of a sudden thing for the family. So, but it was probably. I would say maybe a few years, or maybe actually like maybe like 10 years in that he, after he passed away, that we went out on the road.
Okay, yeah,
together. We went on the road together, and it's actually an experience. Amy was the drummer in the band that we were playing in, and we were playing this little club place out in out up north.
I know, yeah.
And
we did a lot of different places together.
Yeah,
We went from
and
the big stage to little stages.
Yeah, to little
Because when you do
stage.
music, you do them all.
Yeah.
All stages.
So we're in this little club, kind of doing our thing, and we were on a break. So there were people in there and stuff, and I walk over and this guy's sitting there, and he's like he didn't even say hi. He was just like, you need to do Spanish music, and I'm like, what? And he's like, no, you need to do Spanish music. And my background is, my parents are from Ecuador. My family lives there. An aunt and uncle that live in this area, and an uncle that lives up in Jersey. So that's really all the family I have, yeah. In the States. Everybody else is in Ecuador. But, so I just couldn't believe this guy's like, I guess he just knew I was Spanish. So I'm like, oh, okay, all right, whatever. And he's like, no, you got to embrace your culture. You got to embrace it. And I'm like, okay, all right, that's really cool.
You're like, he keeps telling you this.
Yeah.
He's
So,
getting the message across.
yeah, he didn't even say hi, offered me a drink. So we go back and do our second set. And it wasn't like 5 minutes. I turned around, the guy was gone. I didn't know where he was. So I talked to my sister about it, and she's always into signs and all that kind of stuff. And she was just like,
On a spiritual level.
yeah, she was like, oh my gosh, that was probably Dad talking to you. He's probably talking to you. And I was like, wow, I never thought of that. My dad, he was so into the fact that I was in a band, and he loved that I was in girl bands. Whenever I was with bands with guys, he wouldn't say anything, but when it was a girl band, he was telling everybody when we would go down to Ecuador. So he just liked that. And so it's just kind of weird.
That's awesome.
But, yeah.
I was on stage one time. This is a different story than I was going to say. And it was a gospel, event. And I kind of actually had a recent death in the family as well. So my mind was, I was focused, but then I would have moments where I would think about it.
Yeah.
So this happened actually while I was playing one time.
Really?
Yeah, it was scary because the weird part was I never went off. But my fingers were moving, but my mind went somewhere else.
Oh, wow.
So, my fingers still played the song. And then when I came back, I had to, try to figure out where I was in the song. I didn't mess up. So I was like, how did that happen? It was weird.
Wild.
So did you have an astral projection of some kind?
Almost.
You're familiar with that?
Yeah. Not astral. It wasn't an out-of-body experience.
It wasn't out-of-body, but so how would you describe this experience?
It was my body was still there playing, but my mind went out for at least 30 seconds. And in a song that's
Were
2
you
hours.
conscious?
Yeah.
Was your mind conscious while was it? Were you thinking of something, or do you?
It was consciously thinking of something else.
Okay.
But
So you were clearly separated.
I think it was a spiritual encounter because my fingers were just literally moving, still playing,
Wow.
and I had no idea because I wasn't there anymore. I literally thought,
Wow.
I was.
So did you enjoy the song you were playing?
Yeah.
Were you really having a good experience with the song?
Yeah.
So maybe that's what happened too.
Yeah.
You went to a higher level.
Yeah, maybe that's what.
Your spirit went to a higher level.
And maybe that's why I didn't mess up.
And it was gospel, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was gospel.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your spirit
I
was
was
elevated. That's probably that's how I would describe it. But only
Makes
you would
sense.
know that,
Right,
because it's
yeah.
inside you.
Has it ever happened to you again? Was it something that, could you say that has ever happened to you?
Not like that. That was different, but it happened again, but not in a sense where my mind went off into something else. It was just let me keep track. Might just forget. Oh, let me, I forgot what I was playing, or I was thought about something else. But it was more natural than, that was.
Well, you got some skills there. You don't even. She doesn't have to think about what she's playing. She's just doing this,
Oh gosh. No.
If you let her tap into that, you can take a nap.
It's not a boring song.
Yeah.
Just zone out.
That's awesome.
Wait, where's Skittle at?
So we'll be talking about this every episode, and hope if you guys have anything to add to that, it'd be nice to hear your best moments. Oh yeah,
And we didn't time people. I still have
Gosh, you know, we talked to. Gosh, 2 minutes.
You know, we're typically
you
pretty
beat us.
long-winded, and I don't understand why we're not using up all our time.
I know. Our next episode, we're going to be talking about the importance of developing an image, identity, you know, your identity as a performer. How do you stand out? How do you not be forgettable? You know, the character, it's really more about image, how you can stand out, because it's not just talent, but you also have to kind of create your own identity.
I'm going to piggyback on that. If you don't mind, Jane Jam. I'm going to piggyback on that.
Not
I
at
like
all.
saying that, piggyback on. You know, you figure you've got so many amazingly talented singers and artists through the world, in the whole world. I mean, people that should be on TV. You know, but you have to think about either it's chance that they aren't, or like you said, there's more to it than talent. There's
Unfortunately.
politics, there's image, everything. So you gotta have as much as you can, because there's so much competition out there. And there's so many talented people.
Yeah.
You know, that deserve to be in that position. You know. But you know, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next episode. All right.
So yeah,
Girls Talk Music. Girls Band Music.
Yeah.
See you later.